Hello, this is Patrick at OneCNCWest, and what I'd like to demonstrate in this video is how you can move geometry, wireframe, or solid models by a theoretical intersection of edges. It sounds complicated, but let me explain. Let's say for this wireframe geometry, I'd like to move the geometry so that the theoretical intersection of this horizontal line and this vertical line, which would be right about here, let's say I want to line that up with the datum, the x0, y0, z0. So the first thing I need to do is select the geometry. So I'm going to hit Control A, Control Alpha on the keyboard. Once the geometry is selected, I'll head up here to the Move command. And now OneCNC wants me to grab an anchor point in which I can drag the geometry to a new location. Well, I want to drag it by that theoretical intersection, and right now there's no geometry over here. However, if I take my cursor and hover over one of the edges, in this example I'll just hover over the vertical line, and then I'm going to move my cursor and hover over the horizontal line, and if I move over here to the left, notice how OneCNC picks up that theoretical intersection. I can now left click, take my cursor, and left click the origin, and now the geometry has been moved exactly where I want it. Now I'm going to undo that. I'm going to hit Control Z on the keyboard to undo that. Let me show you another example. In this example, I'll move the geometry from the theoretical intersection of this horizontal line and this diagonal line. So again, let's select the geometry by hitting Control A, Control Alpha on the keyboard. We'll go to our Move command. I'm going to hover over the horizontal line first. It really makes no difference if I hover over this line first or this line. Once we do that, we can take our cursor, move to the general area. OneCNC will pick up that location. I can left click, and now I can drag that geometry exactly where I want it. Pretty nice. Now you can do the same thing with the solid model. Let's take a look at a more complicated situation. Here we have a solid model. In fact, it's tapered. And what I want to do is I want to rotate it 90 degrees, but I also want the solid model to line up so that I've got the theoretical intersection of the vertical edge here and the horizontal edge right about there. So the first step is to create some wireframe geometry. Let's quickly head over to the Command Manager, go inside of our Model Tools, and select Extract an Edge. I'm going to take my cursor and left click, and once I've done that, OneCNC creates the wireframe geometry. If I zoom in, you can kind of see that light blue geometry that's been created there. Now, I don't want to change the part in regards to the z-axis. However, I do need to get that wireframe geometry up at the top of the part at z0. One way we can do that is head over here to our construction plane tools, and I'm just going to quickly create a construction plane using this option here. In fact, I'm also going to check this option here called Display Active Plane so you can see the results. But I'm going to select this option, take my cursor, left click that face, and sure enough, we have a construction plane there. All right, so let's select that light blue geometry. I'm going to select by color, and we're going to select the light blue geometry. Back into our Model Tools, we're going to use Smart Projection. And I want to take that selected geometry and I want to project it flat to the current construction plane. And we'll click OK to that. All right, so I can put this back to our default construction plane. We can close that down. Let's hit the spacebar twice to go to a top view. So the same thing applies here. Let's select all of the geometry. This time I'll use the Marquee tool, and let's go to our Move tool. And the same thing happens here, same technique. I'm going to hover over the horizontal line, hover over the vertical line, move my cursor up to that general area. OneCNC picks up the theoretical intersection point. I can left click. I can now take my cursor, drag it over to the origin, and left click. And all I need to do now is simply rotate the part. We're going to rotate it around that point, and we'll rotate it 90 degrees. All right, that's it for this video. I hope it helped out. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.